horse things. Kenny McPeak, I was out at his farm just Monday. He's got his whole gallops are set up all right turns. He says horses that are just losing interest, he says it's much psychological for him. He's not thinking musculoskeletal. He's just thinking they're bored. Which I'm totally on board. So, yeah. So, and one other story on changing leads. So we were working on this paper, and Hillary Clayton, who used to be at Michigan State, is more of a dressage person. We were having this big argument about changing leads and whether they had to change leads. And because she's a dressage person, you change leads as a part of the sport. It has nothing to do with performance because nobody's going that fast. So she wasn't getting it. Sarah Jane Hobbs, who's actually ridden racehorses in England, wasn't getting it. And so I called Irwin, who's the superintendent at Woodbine, who was a jockey, leading jockey in Canada. And he connected me to a horse that used to stay on its right lead all the way through the turns. He said it was the weirdest experience to ride that horse. Never changed lead at all, right lead. And I asked him, I said, so was it a really fast horse? Or was it the slowest horse you ever been on? Well, there's a equivalent to the Kentucky Oaks right before the Queen's Plate, which is the big race at Woodbine. This mare had won the horse the race before the Queen's Plate. So it was a good horse, and I got a video of this horse racing in Keeneland. It's just weird. You know, it just looks so weird, you know, going around on the right lead on the turn. So. Even as somebody who isn't visually, one reason I have to make all these measurements is visually I just can't tell most of this stuff. You know, the good trainers, oh boy, that horse doesn't the lameness.
Yeah.
Very different skill.
Have you ever tried any external supports on horses just to minimize risk of injury? I mean, like basically, you know, putting an elastic sleeve around their cannonbone.
Yeah, and it's certainly, especially for the soft tissue, those bandages are huge. I mean, they're a critical piece, and you can think about for the suspensory apparatus, putting a wrap around that is quite protective because I mean it's like the pulling your car out of the ditch by standing on the rope, right? You know, when you've got this huge, the vector mechanics are really in your favor. So those wraps, the mechanics of that are fantastic. Actually, when I taught statics once a long time ago, I actually used that as an example.
So that helps soft tissue, but it doesn't really protect against breaking bone.
No, it really doesn't. I mean, the thing is, I mean, keep in mind the loads that are on these. You know, when you're talking little skinny bones, and you're talking 2.5 times body weight on it. It's just what's incredible to me is that we can do anything that has an impact, or you know, because it's an amazing adaptive system. The other thing on the anatomy side that I find fascinating on our horses is their shoulder blades are disconnected. They're not hard coupled to their to the backbone. So it's all a suspension system between the shoulder and the body. So the whole thing's suspended. So you can think about when you're that 2.5 times body weight, what you're doing is you're absorbing a lot of that downward motion of the center of mass of the horse in the disconnected. If you got rid of your shoulder blade there, you can imagine, you know, there'd be some things that wouldn't work out so well. But when you landed on it, you'd be able to isolate things a lot better. That's all the horse anatomy for today.
Okay, well, we're going to sort of change gears here, and so thank everybody for coming. Anybody who wants to stay around is welcome to. We're going to have some discussions with Dr. Peterson about what it might be like if he joins our faculty. So, but let's thank him for, again, and there are some refreshments in the hall.